Hey everybody, it is Candace Spears here and my girl
Chastity Snow here. How you guys doing?
Chastity, CEO of Ambition, Honey, and Hustle. And yes, every time I say Ambition, Honey, and Hustle, I swear, Chastity, I feel like people look at me like, you mean the podcast?
Yeah.
And there's so much more coming.
It's so much more coming, so much more to it. So I'm
Yeah.
excited about it.
So anyway, we wanted to just sort of jump on here and talk a little bit about the stat. I don't know if you all have heard the stat. I can't think off the top of my head who did the study, but it has to deal with, we all recognize that Black women are like the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs, right? And women starting businesses every day. And there is this startling stat that says that only 3% of them actually go on to become mature businesses. And that's as compared to, I think, about 7%, 6.75%, something like that for white women. And so 3%, and by the way, they define a mature business as lasting more than 3 years. And so to me, like to hear that. So Chastity, and I know that if you all don't know what we do is highly tailored to supporting the freedom of others. Most of the women inside of our community are Black women. We are Black women. And so we have that perspective, but we recognize that freedom is not limited to just Black women, right? There are women all over the world, all races who are chasing their freedom, but we carry this perspective of a Black woman and some of the issues and traumas that we've gone through and dealt with. And it's like, shoot, if we can get it right for us, everybody benefits,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
So it's like thinking about this 3% number is crazy to me. Like it's like, I don't know how to best say it. It's like you're raising up these children, right? And only a few of them live like past age 3. Like that's crazy. Like Chastity, you
It's
are a mom.
scary. It's scary.
It's like so the question becomes, right? Like, well, what is the problem? What is the issue? What is the thing going on? You know? And for Black women who have like overwhelmingly been in businesses that are in the service industry, right? Businesses that tend to have lower margins, all this other stuff, like absolutely, I'm sure a contributing factor, but I'm sure that there's other stuff too. Like so sure that like we're building our programs around it. So like
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, there's no science behind it. Yet, but it's real. It's really real.
Mhm.
That there is a really, really, really big gap. And when I think about the stat, I think about the how we think about stats and wanting to be a part of that 3%. But my take on it is not to be a part of the 3%, but make that statistic larger. You're right. Like,
Mhm.
or to lessen that statistic, because that's one that I don't want any of us fitting in. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I want to fit into that. Like, I want to be a part. I want to grow that statistic. I want to make that statistic so high that it turns into 97% of women have a mature business, or 97% of Black women have a mature business. And that's because 97% of women want it, right? Not
Mhm.
because they don't know how to, or I don't know, that I want it to be flipped.
Right.
Because I can't imagine not seeing, and I have a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old come tomorrow. So the idea of not celebrating those years
Mhm.
is a little scary.
That's powerful. Yeah, that's powerful. It's like not only is it lost opportunity for like the founder herself
Hmm.
and the impact that she could have been putting in the world, but it's lost impact for the other people for whatever she
Yeah,
was doing, making,
right,
creating, whatever it is, which is, yeah, it's startling. But to your point, as we think about like how we change the game, that's one of the reasons why I'm so excited about just what we are doing with company curators and what we're doing with the 30-day startup, and really stretching the founders to not only think about these like, hey, here's something that I can quick do to make money, because that's real. Like,
right.
let's be honest, that's real. Like, money needs to flow to get to those greater things, but also like helping them push further into like the dreams that have been buried, like the things that they have been called to do, but
Mhm.
they've neglected to lean into because they didn't feel qualified for it, capable for it, maybe even having the money that they needed necessary to do it. And so, just thinking about that and thinking about that world where, to your point, right, either that number becomes larger or we just stop talking about it. Like,
Yeah. I mean, what is exactly. But again, holding space that all women, all Black women don't want to own businesses, that's fine. But for those that do, like, we want you to be a part of growing that number, not for our sake,
right,
not even for your own sake. For a small time, it will be for your sake, but the larger picture, and that brings me to what you just said about the 30K buzzword, right? The 30K buzzword that hooks people a lot, or the 100K and 10 day. Like, I'm not even gonna sit here and pretend like I'm not hook, line, and sinkered by those words and by things that play on the very real nature of scarcity for Black women
hmm,
and just women, period. Right? We want financial freedom, we want financial success, we want financial stability. That's just, I don't know that there's any woman out there that at some point in some level doesn't have that very real desire. But what I want to talk about now is the importance of doing this 30-day, because it's more than the 30K buzzword, right?
hmm,
Yes, that may be the thing that you get that gets your mind reeling and talking, but the true
right,
impact is going to be getting more than that buzzword of 30K.
right.
It's
And
going
for
to
those of
be,
you, for those of you who don't know, what you're like, hold on, Chastity,
yeah,
what's
sorry y'all.
30K? We're doing this 30-day sprint upcoming. That's a beta for really this tech powerhouse that we're building to support and smash this statistic, not only for Black women, but to just raise that game for women around the world, regardless of their race. But this 30K that Chastity keeps referring to is one of those pinpoints that we're doing as part of our 30-day. It's getting you to that 30K in funding and or sales combination, however you decide to divide that pie at the start of the 30-day challenge. So I just wanted to jump that in there in case people were like, hold on, put me on, Chastity. Go ahead.
Which is real. That getting 30K, whether it be, customer, client, or funding, is real. That need to have those funds is real. But there's also an overwhelming need to sustain that. And you can't always do that by just thinking financially. There has to be some spiritual aspects to it. There has to be some emotional aspects to it, because when you get that 30K, there's some very real things that are going to start taking place. There's going to be a real shift that starts to take place. So when we talk about the 30-day sprint, understand that while 30K is definitely important, the spiritual, the technical, the paying
Right.
yourself first, the, setting aside and, setting real goals and real things you want to do with that 30K is very real too. And what you'll need to continue you, right? Because that 30K is going to dry up.
Hmm, hmm,
Bills, maybe you need a new pair of shoes, you need a new computer, all of a sudden your phone craps out. I mean, those are very real things. But once that 30K dries up, what infrastructure and what set of goals and boundaries and and steps do you actually have to continue it on? What we want you to focus on and what we want to focus on is the repeatable opportunities that you shall have to
Mhm.
keep going.
Amen.
And I say that to your point of, again, the financial aspect being there. But what
Mhm.
else? Right? I want us as Black women, or just women, period, that are in business to start thinking about the what else, right?
Mhm.
After you reach this financial mark, what else? Because more money, more problems. We know that to be true.
I
But
don't like that philosophy, but for some it is.
for some it is, I mean, but, and it's not always necessarily the philosophy, but when you pay your car off, it immediately breaks down. You know what I mean? Like, so even if it's not the money per se, but that sometimes reaching that goal, there's always something else, that you have to prepare for, that you need to be looking towards the hill too. So yeah, getting the 30K is awesome. We want that for you, but we also want you to start looking ahead and looking at to have these things affect you emotionally. And because once you get this 30K, that may be your day to say, hey, I'm done with corporate. And then what?
Right.
what do
We're
you what do
talking
you do
about
when you're home?
we're, we're talking about be comfortable, so that's for
You're
sure.
right.
As we
See.
um we're talking about building for longevity, right? We're talking about um what we talk about all the time, like freedom that lasts a lifetime, like not a momentary deal. Like this is lifetime stuff. Yeah, I love it. There is I will say this for sure, and I think you all have you've heard like a good amount from us so far. If you've got any interest, if you are like that female founder that is really like, okay, let me jump on this 30-day train to just like jump in here. And again, yeah, the 30K, get into 30K and that capital. Yep, that's a big deliverable. But just like you talked about, Chastity, we are undergirding this whole thing with this infrastructure that is more than financial. It is the spiritual, it is the social emotional, it is the technical. Like, and this is what, because I'm a technology like geek, like my life all day, every day, like high tech. Um, this is the piece that I think is often overlooked and I think also contributes to this 3% number. Like, because we've built these businesses that have this high need just to meet our survival, that we haven't gone the extra layer to look at innovation, to look at how we bring tech advantages to our business that help us be competitive in the marketplace. All this stuff.
All of it.
We get, listen, we getting into all this in this 30-day.
Yeah, that's why the 30 day is important, because I mean, and I don't know what vibe you get from seeing both of us on the screen. Granted, one, we know we're Black women. Two, we know we're business owners. But there's a real deep longing, a real deep joy that we get just sitting on calls and just talking and talking to clients and talking to other people in the industry, and just being present in the moment of what is actually taking place right now. And I'm going to say this to you because it's real for me. There's a lot that I did not know about Black women in business. There was a lot that I did not even pay attention to because we get so wrapped up in what we have going on.
Right.
There are people out there that are struggling to get started, to get where they want to go, just like you. And it's okay.
Right.
That's why the 30 day is so important, because we want to give you not instant gratification, but we want to give you enough confidence. We want to speak to those places that are on the edge, right? And kind of on the ledge, like, okay, you're teeter tottering back and forth. Like, I may just give this up completely, right? And I honestly believe that one day with us, one day,
Revolutionize.
revolutionize can truly, and it may not be a 30K in that one day, but your mind will kind of be unlocked. Your heart will, to start to beat at a different different wave, right? Because you'll
Right.
just begin to have your mind open to all the things that are being a business owner.
Mhm.
It's not always funnels and systems.
Right.
Granted, those things are important, but it is also here and here, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's the making a house a home. Like right now, a lot of people's business is just a house. I'm just here for a good time, right? I'm just here until I can't take it anymore. We want to help you build a true home, a true foundation, and put, some stakes in the ground. And that is why the 30-day is so important, because it's more than just the money. It's the all
Yeah.
around speaking to certain places that just have not been touched or spoken to
Mhm.
yet.
The real hard
The
stuff.
real hard stuff.
Let
Like,
the real hard stuff, because the funnels and stuff, yeah, like we got templates for like pick one and like load it up.
right.
But the hard stuff of not letting your trauma keep you from moving forward, the hard stuff of feeling like, you know, if I get a white client, then I'm doing good. If my clientele is all black, oh, I need to step my game up. Let's be real.
Or the
Like,
idea of
let's be
that
real.
Black people can't afford it, right? So we go for white clients because, Black people, like we begin to see ourselves the same way other people see us. So we really do ourselves a disservice, because again, this is not just about you, it's about everybody else too. And
Right.
I want you to know that your transformation that you are holding on to, or that you just don't know what to do with, somebody is missing that. Somebody needs your face, somebody needs your voice, somebody needs you to get on a call and just to tell your story.
Right. 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 This is okay. Y'all
This
listen.
is what to expect in the 30 days.
This see, we can go on and on and on. We'll save that for a different live. But yeah, if you are listening and you do want to jump into the 30-day, we're going to make sure that the link, we'll look at the link in here in the description, so that you can jump in and join us. It is open right now to jump in and enroll up until November 12th.
12. Mhm.
So if you want to jump in, because we start on November 13th. And it is important for you to know that this is not ever going to happen again like this.
Real
And I
talk.
say this to you very, very boldly. We have set aside a lot of time, like so much time that, kid you not, we have blocked off rejuvenation days in order for us to prepare to, to be fully with you in this 30-day. And so if that's something you're interested in, it is $14.97. Jump in and like let's do it. Let's go. It's like, what do you mean?
Never before seen price. And you want to
Ever,
know how I know that? And this is not just me being a worker bee, being in my CEO bag. This is me as a client that came from finance. You will not see it like this at this price for
no.
the amount of work we're going to do. And I want to mention that we're not even tripping about it. We're not tripping about the amount of work and the hours we're going to put in, that the math don't math, but we don't care about that.
Exactly.
Like, listen, I can really only say, like, once you get into the 30-day, you'll be like, they probably should have charged me more. And you're probably right.
Guaranteed.
But we don't care about that. We're not doing it for that. We
Yeah,
are doing it because there's a gap that needs to be closed.
right.
And bragging, not bragging, humble, not humble, we are the ones that want to close it. We are the ones that are going to close it. Now, either you want to be a part of that or you don't. I don't know why you don't. If you want to talk to me about it, find me. I'm on social media. You want to come holler at me about it? Let's do that. Whatever.
Okay.
But I just do want us to be clear that there's a lot that is going in, and we don't care about that. We care about you, your freedom, and getting you to where you want to be, getting you to your happy place when it comes to business. getting you to that, over the hump, right? Because the terrible twos, and then it's kind of the terrible threes, right? We want to get you past that before you get to that point. Like,
Right. Before you turn terrible, like let's just put it on the
it's
right
just
path.
get it on the right path. So,
I love
yeah,
it.
I just wanted to say that. So definitely understand that this is just something we truly are joyed and happy to do. Happy to plan rejuvenation days because we're gonna need it. Because honey, there's gonna be some things that I'm probably gonna go through too. While
Mhm.
you're going through,
Exactly.
like some things that might come up for me hearing one of
Continue
your
work in
stories.
progress. Continue work in progress for real.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Well, Chastity, let's get off of this.
Okay. Yeah. Let's.
And yeah, if you want to jump to the 30-day jump in, we'll make sure all the stuff is in there. And if you want to have a chat with chat one
You better ask about me.
conversation with Chastity has been known to change many a lives. And
Ask
if
about
you
me.
are, yes, if you are one of the people who is very much aware of that, go ahead and drop a comment because it is true. And there are screenshot receipts to prove it. So
I got video recordings.
so I love it. All right. So we'll hope to see you on the 30-day. And yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Bye,
See you
everybody.
guys later.